AirDev Canvas is a framework that allows you to build fully responsive, stable Bubble applications in a fraction of time as building them from scratch. On a high level, here's how it works. You start with a template, and one of several templates that I'll go into here in a little bit. And then you add pages, you add custom pages, each of which has several custom groups to your application based on your application's needs. And then you connect the logic of your application either yourself using some of our Learn resources or through our network of Bubble experts. So let's take a look. If you sign into Canvas at canvas.airdev.co, make sure when you sign up you use the same email address that you used to register for Bubble. That way the two accounts can be connected to each other. And then you'll end up on a page like this under My Apps that'll show the apps that you've created. You won't have any apps when you first start, so click Add a New App. And also, what you'll see next is you'll see a way to select the base of your application. Most people will probably want to start with the Canvas App Foundation base, which is free. That basically has all of the features that are necessary for every single app that is built, or almost every single app. So things like logging in, things like an owner's portal where you can manage your app, things like a responsive homepage maker, things that almost every application needs. So you'll probably start with that. And then otherwise, there are going to be some other templates, and here you can see only one, but there are going to be more added in the future, where you can start with something more complex, something that already has the functionality built for a different kind of a tool. So the one you see in here is for a rental marketplace like Airbnb. So if you're building something close to Airbnb, you probably want to start with the rental marketplace template. Otherwise, you want to start with the basic app foundation. So let's start with the basic app foundation. It's going to walk you through what to do, but basically all you have to do is you have to go to bubble.is/templates. You have to find the Canvas App Foundation. You have to use it, so you click this button, and once you click it, it'll change to bot like this. And then when you go to your My Apps screen in Bubble, you'll be able to create an app using the template. So I'm going to call an app Vlad Test App 8, and I'm going to use this Canvas App Foundation template. I'll create a new app. So once I create an app, I'm going to need to add it to the Canvas portal. I'm going to need to connect the two so that I can actually add responsive pages to that app. The way I do that is through adding a collaborator to the application. So I go to the settings, I can close this assistant, and I go to the settings tab, collaboration subtab, and I add dev@airdev.co as a collaborator. And the collaborator does not have to be an admin. They have to view and edit the data, or view and edit the app, sorry. For data, they don't have to do anything with it, so you don't need to give a permission. For logs, you don't need to give them permission, and they only need the dev version. So you can kind of adjust this if you want to control your security and privacy settings. But otherwise, you don't actually have to touch these. You can just add them as a collaborator. So if you go back, eventually it's going to be added to my apps section, but it takes a few minutes. So in the meantime, I'm going to show you something important about the Canvas template as well as all the other templates that we have. So that's something important, has to do with the way we do the homepage. So most homepages that you see in other templates and other apps are done directly in the Bubble editor. And if you go to our homepage, which is the page called Home, you'll see that there's not a whole lot here. It's sort of white. There's not a lot visible. And it looks like a big reusable element. And the reason it looks like a big reusable element is because it is. And what we do is we allow you to manage your homepage from signed in as a user as opposed to from the editor. So the homepage is driven by your database. The reason we do that is, there are a few reasons we do it. One is it's pretty flexible in that it allows us to sort of mix and match blocks of content and have multiple copies of the same block very easily. Two, when we build applications for clients, we don't necessarily, those clients don't necessarily know how to use Bubble, and so we want them to be able to update content on the homepage without actually needing to know anything about Bubble, how to how to update stuff, how to do responsiveness stuff, or anything like that. And so that's another reason. And then the third reason is that way you can make updates to your homepage without actually doing any sort of deploys. So how do you actually update the homepage? You go to Data, you go to App Data, and you just sign in as a user who's marked owner. In this case, dev@airdev.co is marked as an owner, so you run the application as them. And after you run the application as them, you're automatically going to be taken to the owner's portal of the application. The owner's portal is where you actually manage the homepage. So the way you find that is you go to Settings, and you go to Homepage. And this is where the entire homepage is managed. So here is where you control what the top part looks like. You can pick your gradient, and you have all of these sections, these blocks of content, and there are 11 different kinds of blocks. And you can remove them, you can add them, you can make multiple blocks of the same kind, you can update their content. You can do all of that stuff without actually needing to touch the bubble editor. So that's that on the homepage. That's sort of an important thing to know, and something that some people get confused about because it is a pretty different way to do it. But now that we've gone over that, let's go back to our Canvas portal. Hopefully the app has been added. Let me do a refresh here. Yep, so here is our app, Lab Test App 8. It's been added to the Canvas portal. And now what you can do is you can add responsive pages to the app. So how do you do it? You just click on the app, and then you see some options here. The option you want is this Add a Page option, which is going to take you to our Canvas Pages tool. And once the tool loads, you'll be able to add custom pages and custom groups within those pages to your application. So I'm going to skip the tutorial for now. The first thing I need to do is I need to pick a page template. What is the overall page layout that this page is going to have? So there's a few here. There's a standard page, there's a toggle tabs page, there's a profile page. There are a bunch of different kinds of pages. So I'm going to assume that I'm making a profile page. So I'm going to pick this page template here. I'm going to add it. And you can see that it's added in this preview mode here. This is sort of an image of the preview, so it's not responsive or anything like that, but it should give you an idea of what the application should look like. And you can see that on the profile page, the top section just has some generic profile-related things, and you can obviously delete any of these things that are not necessary to you. And then below, you can add other sections that are specific to your application that are needed. So let's add some other sections. So what do we need on our profile page? Maybe we need let's see, maybe we need this kind of a tile group of products that somebody's selling or something like that. So let's add that here. You can see that there's a preview that's generated. And let's add another block. This one, let's add the reviews block. So let's say you want to show a review for somebody. Here we go, there's a reviews block. So let's add this one. And now we have a page with this photos, products block, whatever you want to use it for, and a reviews block. So the next thing to do is we just need to submit the page. And you can see it already picked my app, Lab Test App 8. And now I just have to call a page something. So I'm going to name it New Page, and create this page. I'm going to agree to the terms. And it's going to take me back to the Canvas portal. And you can see, if I scroll down, it says processing your page request for new page. So it's starting on the page request. Now this request is going to take, it could take 20, 30 minutes, a little longer. So it's going to be a while. And you can see, if you're going to be in your app, you'll actually see dev@airdev.co going in as an editor in order to add the page. Now we're not going to, for the purpose of this video, we're not going to sit here and watch that page get created. But if we come back in about 30 minutes, we'll see that the page is done. Okay, so it's been about 10 minutes, and I just got an email notification telling me that my page was added to Canvas. Now, as I mentioned, sometimes pages might take 20 or 30 minutes depending on how much stuff is on the page. But if I switch back to my app, Lab Test App 8, I can see my new page here called New Page. And if I go to it, I will see all of my groups that were added. Now note, generally we stack all of our groups vertically. And then, if needed, we will hide them one at a time. That's to make your page height kind of respond to what it needs to be. And we don't stack groups on top of each other, so everything is always stacked vertically. That's just a building principle that we use. And then if we preview the page, we will see that here are all of the groups. And you can see that there's this gap in the middle here, and that's just for making it easier to add stuff into this section so that you don't have to shift everything else down. But you'll probably want to collapse this space initially if you don't want to put more stuff in here. And the other thing to note is everything is fully responsive. So if I collapse this page here, you can see that everything kind of adjusts, and the groups underneath are responsive, and the reviews are responsive, and everything like that. So by default, every single page that you create through Canvas Pages is responsive. Great. Well, I hope you enjoyed the tutorial and that you give Canvas and Canvas Pages a try.